Hi, everyone. Welcome to Asasi Yoga's Valentine's Day yoga class. Um, I am really excited to be back with you. It's been a while, um, and I've missed you, so I'm glad to be here with you today. Um, Before I get started, you know that I always love to remind you about all the great things that are going on in Asisi Yoga and your opportunity to take advantage of that. So, if you have the time, the inclination, head on over to Asisi Yoga's website or Facebook page or Instagram or one of the many ways that they make it possible for you to get more information and check out the yoga offerings and Ayurveda offerings that are coming up. I think just about everyone would find something there that would really benefit them and make your life a little sweeter. So I hope that you have the opportunity to check that out. But for today, getting started, I have a very simple setup today, really just my mat and whatever you need for Shavasana to be comfortable. Maybe a blanket or a bolster to sit on in the beginning because we will start in a seated position. And we'll head on over there now. So I'll go take a seat and I hope you'll join me there. So welcome. I have to admit that I am a person who has slightly mixed feelings about Valentine's Day. And maybe that makes me a strange choice for this practice today. However, that being said, it's the making it about something that's not so important that kind of I don't love. But any opportunity to reflect on the joys in our life, the things we're grateful for, the people we're grateful for, the opportunity to celebrate love and togetherness and union. This can't be such a bad thing, right? So I think going into it with an open heart and a wish to open up even more, be available to the world, be available to each other. This is a really wonderful thing. Maybe you brought a partner along today, and if you did, you can enjoy this practice together and just working toward opening to the world together and opening toward each other. What more could we ask for? So, as we settle in, finding a comfortable seat, just check in, make sure your sitting bones are directly under you. Legs are comfortable. Spine is upright. Maybe we take just a moment and the base of the shoulder blades, we draw in toward the heart and notice how that opens the chest up a little bit wider. Letting the shoulders drop back and down. Chin just slightly tucked so the back of the neck is long and the breath can move very freely. Take a moment to catch yourself where you are right this moment, how the body feels. How we feel about the world in this moment, ourselves, our partner. And whatever we happen to find here, just meeting it without any judgment, meeting it with compassion to the extent that we understand what that means. We bring the right hand to rest on the chest over the heart. Left joins over the top. If you're practicing with a partner, maybe even a simple touch of the left hand on the knee, the hand, to feel each other as well, to acknowledge that you're here together. If we're practicing alone, feel the sensation, the warmth of the hand on the chest, heart beating underneath, the rise and fall with the breath. There is power in the simplicity of being there fully with this sensation. For now, we will let the hands release. And we're going to take a version of seated cat-cow. Just take your legs wherever they feel comfortable for now. So simple Sukhasana, or if you need to extend them in front, however, whatever's going to feel right for your body to sit here for a moment. We're going to take the arms and start just open the arms wide. Palms forward, the upper arms squeeze back toward each other as the chest opens and the chin opens. And then as we exhale, we'll bring the arms forward, send the center of the spine back, crown of the head comes in toward the tailbone. Give ourselves a little hug here in the center. And we're going to take that several times. Inhale, open the arms wide. Lift the chest. Take in that shape, that form. Exhale, closing. And a few more times. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. We're not closed. There's a tenderness here for ourselves. Inhale, open. Maybe each time it's getting a little wider, a little more open. Chest lifts a little higher. And crossing the arms over, close in the front. And then we'll just open back up to neutral. Arms open out to the sides, palms forward. We're going to take the arms, lift them up toward the ceiling. The seat presses down toward the floor. The head follows the arms, fingers reaching. And exhale, arms release down, chin drops. Take that a couple more times. Inhale, open the arms, reach. Exhale, release. Feeling the experience, the whole body moving through space. This time we inhale the arms up. As we release on the exhalation, we'll twist over to the right side. So the right arm is reaching back, right shoulder back, left hand to the outside of the right thigh, lengthening up, holding for the exhalation. And then next inhale, reaching the arms back up again. Exhale, release to the other side, twisting. Holding. Inhale. And exhale. We take that one more time to each side. Inhale, open the arms up, sweeping them up toward the ceiling. Exhale, release, and we hold for a full round of breath. And inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, release over to the other side. Holding that twist, sitting up a little taller. Exhale and inhale, reaching up. Exhale, release. Good. And we're just going to bring the right heel in front of the left, in front of the body. If you need the legs out a little wider, a little farther away, we can do that. We'll sit up tall. And then as we exhale, we're pressing the seat back and down and walking the fingers forward. Keep the spine long, keep the chest lifted. Slowly lowering our way down. Feeling the lengthening in the low back as the seat presses back. And next inhale, we're going to press into the fingertips and start to lift the chest. We'll reposition just a little bit. We're going to come into Varasana now, if your body will permit. So coming into our kneeling pose, our hero pose. Knees are close together and the hips drop between the heels. Now, if you need to, you could put a block or something underneath the seat to help support you if it's difficult for you to stay in this position for too long, or of course use any other supports that you need. So we'll begin here, just hands on the top of the thighs. Resting for a moment, draw the shoulders back and down, lift the chest up slightly. Feeling the sense, collarbones drawing away. Space in the chest opening up. Again, we're going to take our arms out to the sides, palms out. And as we inhale, we'll reach hands up toward the ceiling. Interlace the fingers at the top. Press the palms away. The arms are quite straight here. Upper arm bones are near the ears, but the shoulders slide away from the ears at the same time. Seat pressing down, but the sides of the torso long. And let's take it just a little bit over to the right side, leaning over. The right side of the body, the right arm gets heavy. It doesn't have to be big, just enough. And we'll inhale, come back to center. And exhale over to the other side. Left arm gets heavy. The right arm bone still up by the ear. We don't let ourselves collapse forward. And inhale, come back. Exhale, let the arms release. We're going to reach the hands back to the low back and interlace the fingers here. Slide the shoulders up toward the ceiling. And then back behind you and down, and press the hands down toward the floor. And you can feel how it's drawing the shoulders back as the hands press down. Chest lifts. Chin slightly lifted, but we don't need to force the chin up toward the ceiling. It's mostly lifted because we're being drawn into the slight back bend. And inhale, like someone's pulling the chest forward, the hands can release. And the hands come forward again onto the front of the thighs. We take a moment here. Now we're going to reach back again, interlace the fingers. Again, sweep the shoulders up and then let them fall back. I have a friend that describes this as putting your wings on, throwing your cape on, which I think is an apt description. Inhale, let's lengthen up through the chest, lift the chest up toward the ceiling. And exhale, we're going to bow forward. So keeping the hips down, seat pressing back, the wrists will start to lift up toward the ceiling as the head bows down and forward. Holding here for a moment.
And then we're going to press the hands back toward the floor and use that to help lift us back up again into seated. And again, exhale, arms release. So before we completely leave here, let's take a stretch for the moment for the bottoms of the feet. So you're going to stay in that same position, but just move the weight forward a little bit. Tuck the toes up underneath. Particularly, you might need to help the pinky toe out. And same thing on the other side. And then we're going to start to walk ourselves back up into a fully upright position. If we can, we stay here, tall. I know it's a lot of stretch on the bottom of the feet. The fascia here is expanding and stretching, and that's good. It's important that we keep it mobile. Otherwise, we end up with issues like plantar fasciitis and things like that. So we want to be careful that we give enough love to the fascia on the bottom of the feet. And I know this is a hard opening class, but it's all connected. And if our feet feel good, everything feels good. Well, that might not always be true, but it helps. All right, so let's start to bring the weight forward again. Hands can support us in front. Release the tops of the feet. Sit back one more time. Let's stretch the ankles out here. Last time in Varasana. And then we're going to start to walk the hands forward again. I'm just going to walk my knees back slightly. We're going to tuck the toes and come up into our first down dog. So press into the hands, lift the sitting bones up toward the ceiling. Maybe slide the hips a little bit from side to side. Walk the feet out if you need to. Keep breathing. Feeling connected. Maybe we can even feel the heart beating in there if we're lucky. Come back to center. Let the knees release to the floor. Sit back for a moment into child's pose to rest. Open the knees a little so you have space to move into. Let the center of the forehead release. And if we couldn't feel the heart beating before, maybe we can now, if we pay close attention. Good, and we'll start to lift the hips again. And the hips come almost over the knees, but not quite. We'll start to walk the hands forward, lift the sitting bones up toward the ceiling, and the chest will start to release toward the floor. We come into puppy dog pose. We could drop the forehead to the floor. For most of us, that's probably going to be plenty. As we lengthen out the back with the spine hammock hanging from the sitting bones. Some of you may find it feels good to bring the chin forward to the floor. Just be careful, we don't want to overdo it either. So finding what works for your body. We'll bring the hands back fully in contact with the floor. Press into the hands. Tuck the toes. Let's come back up into our down dog. We're going to lift the right leg up toward the ceiling. Bend the knee 90 degrees and open into your wild dog. Maybe spin that ankle around a couple of times. Now, if you're feeling really crazy today, a little wild, make it a true wild dog, we could flip this over, which would mean that we bring the weight into the left hand, the left foot starts to turn a little bit, right foot drops to the floor. Now, we can just be hanging out in our wild dog, or we could be lifting the hips up toward the ceiling and reaching that right hand back, chest, heart totally open. And then we're going to swing it back around. So obviously, that's a big move. We don't all have to go there, but if it feels good, do it. And then let's step this right leg forward. If you need to, drop the knees and just pull the right leg through. We're going to come into a low lunge here. Good. Let's
Squeeze the legs together and inhale, come up into a high lunge. Maybe the arms reach up, maybe the hands are in prayer. And you're going to start to draw the hands down. Left elbow is going to come to the outside of the right thigh as I come into a twist here. Now we could drop the back knee if we need to. And if we need to, we can always release the left hand to the floor. So you can take this as big or as gentle as you want to. Exhale, we're going to release the hands, frame the front foot, and step back into down dog. Move the hips a little from side to side again. And we're going to pull ourselves forward into plank pose. We could always drop the knees and then lower yourself down onto your belly. Release the tops of the feet. Inhale, let's come up into a baby cobra. Legs are stretching back, and I'm just holding here for a moment. My shoulders are drawing back, collarbones are open. We could say heart shining forward, if that kind of language works for you. Or just really open chest here. Exhale, release. Let yourself rest for a moment, one cheek to the floor. And let's come up again. Maybe a little bigger this time, or maybe we just stick with our baby cobra or Sphinx pose. But if you want to press more into the hands, lift the chest a little higher, shoulders draw back and down. Just make sure we don't overdo it on our low back here. And exhale. Release all the way down. Tuck the toes and press back into down dog. Now we lift the left leg, trying to keep the pelvis even. Bend the left knee 90 degrees, open to your wild dog. And then again, if you're feeling a little extra crazy or energetic, maybe we even flip it over. Bringing the left foot to the floor, chest opens up, hips reaching up toward the ceiling. And then swing it back and around. And then we'll step that foot through. Coming into our low lunge. Left leg forward. So drop the knees if we need to. Pull the leg through. You know, I'm working kind of hard for a Valentine's class, right? I find that sometimes that kind of work really does open us if we allow it to. So breathing here. And inhale, we're going to start to draw up into our high lunge. Legs are squeezing together, hands either in prayer or we can extend them up toward the ceiling. And then if we've lifted, we start to draw back down again. And this is where we'll take our twist. Right elbow comes to the outside of the left thigh, hands together, back leg long. And then pressing so the hands are ideally right at the center of the chest. And remember, take this down further if you need to. Take the knee to the floor. Good. Exhale, release the hands, frame the front foot. Inhale and exhale, let's step the back foot forward to come into a forward fold. Let yourself hang here for a moment. And maybe we're coming back to the sensation, feeling the circulation moving through the body, feeling the heart beating. Halfway lift. Bring the hands maybe to the shin bones or the tops of the thighs. Draw the sternum forward, shoulders drawing back, sitting bones drawing back. And then let's slide the hips forward, maybe an inch. Doesn't need to be a lot. And exhale, let the hands slide back down the legs again. Come back into your forward fold, knees as soft as they need to be. And we're going to bend the knees and sit back a little bit. Start to lift the chest. And then we'll press into the feet and inhale, open the arms all the way up, reach up toward the ceiling. Press into the feet, and then exhale, let the arms come down. Good. Just round the shoulders out for a moment. Find the sensation of your feet on the floor. We'll come into mountain pose. Finding the four corners of the feet, the weight almost evenly distributed, though there is a tiny bit more weight in the heels than in the front of the feet. We're going to reach the hands back. Again, interlace the fingers, roll the shoulders back, and press the hands down toward the floor. Chest is lifted. Feet firm on the floor. You're pressing into the feet. And exhale, soften, release the arms. And then we're going to bring the arms up in the other direction. So we're going to start to lift the arms so that they're bent at about 90 degrees. Feet firm on the floor. Feel the weight, feel that sensation again. And then we're going to start to lean back. So the hips are going to stay right where they are. We lean back into the pose, squeeze the upper arm bones in toward each other. Little baby back bend here. And exhale. We start to come forward. The hands can come together. Rest in prayer, thumbs resting on the chest for a moment. Take a couple extra breaths here. And we'll let the hands release. So any class, almost any class, where I'm working towards opening this space in the front, I tend to want to work with Humble Warrior. And it's both the physical aspect of the pose, but also something about when we move into that posture, what does it mean for us? What does it mean for the whole, not just the physical body? So maybe we explore that as we come into it here. So we'll step to the front of our mats. We're going to step the left foot back and bring it into warrior position. The right knee is directly over the ankle. And I'm just going to open my arms for a moment, palms facing forward. Draw the shoulder blades onto my back. Square the shoulders to the front of the mat. Draw the left thigh in a little bit more toward the right thigh, inner thigh. And then we're going to reach the hands back and interlace the fingers at the low back. Now shoulders already should be more or less in the position that we need them. Inhale, we're going to lift the chest up toward the ceiling. And exhale, keeping the back foot firm on the floor and the hips drawing back. We'll lengthen the torso forward. We're letting the right shoulder drop toward the right thigh without touching the right thigh. We come down about as far as our body will willingly go, and then we drop
the head. Release the muscles in the back of the neck. Let the head fall. And then drawing up through the hands, so the hands are reaching up toward the ceiling. And we've come into our humble warrior. So it's a place, maybe we take a few breaths and just reflect for a moment here. What does this mean to us? What is it for? Why does this pose even exist? And then we'll start to press the hands back toward the back heel. And as we do that, it helps us as we lift on the inhalation, come back up to standing, release the hands, and step the back foot forward. Give yourself a moment, maybe just coming into Tadasana, taking a few breaths there. I have this sense that the whole body is a little more open right now. Something very alive and active within. Good. So same thing on the second side. Left foot forward, right foot back. Planting that right foot in warrior position. The back leg is strong. Don't let that back knee collapse in. Keep the leg held up and open. Extend the arms out to the sides. Palms facing forward. Draw the shoulders onto the back. Chest open and lifted. And then we'll start to reach the hands back. So we just turn so we can interlace the fingers here. Inhale, lift the chest toward the ceiling, press the hands back toward the back heel. And then exhale, back foot stays firm. Hips stay pulled back, torso starts to lengthen forward. Left shoulder toward the left thigh. And then letting the head and neck release. The hands pull up toward the ceiling. And we're going to press the hands back toward the back heel again. As we inhale, we lift ourselves back up to standing. And then we release the hands and exhale, step the back foot forward. And just come again into our Tadasana, our mountain pose. So as silly as it is, I'll share that there's a sensation almost like running brooks through my mountain. So maybe feel like what sensations are alive in you right now? Is there a vibrancy? Good. And exhale, let's just soften. And then why don't we back down to the floor? We're going to come back into a seated position. Just an easy Souptabatakanasana with the left heel closer to the pelvis. And we're going to use Souptabatakanasana here to draw us into Pigeon Pose. So I'm going to keep the right leg planted exactly where it is. So just to show you what I'm talking about. Right leg is down on the floor in Souptabatakanasana, left leg in front. And then we're going to start to swing the left leg back as the weight of the torso moves forward. So sweeping the left leg back and around, coming into our Pigeon Pose. And the back leg is long. The hip, knee, ankle, and toes all in one long line. I'm going to walk the hands back for a moment first toward the hips. Squeeze the knees together, chest open. And then when we're ready, we'll exhale, start to draw torso forward. Maybe coming down onto the forearms initially. The right heel is resting right in the bend of the left hip. The pelvis is more or less even, side to side, forward and back.
There's a softness now in the face. And maybe, if we wish, we bring this down even a little bit lower, maybe stacking the hands, or hands and fists, or even extending the arms forward as we come all the way forward into our pigeon pose. Letting gravity do most of the work for us. Right here with each breath. We start to press into the hands. Lift the chest. Let the right hip land on the floor. Left leg's going to swing around. You can use the hand to help bring it around. And then we're just going to change sides. So we bring ourselves into Sukhasana, but with the left foot closer to the pelvis. And this time the right leg is going to swing back and around. So I'm just kind of walking torso forward, using the toes of the right foot to draw the right leg back a little bit further. Releasing the top of the foot once I'm nice and long. Walking the hands back toward the knees. Open and lift the chest, squeeze the knees in toward each other. Open here for a moment. And then when we're ready, releasing down onto the forearms. So the torso is still long. The head isn't hanging, but there is a softness in the neck, in the face. Listening to the sound of your breath. Feel it moving through your body. Maybe feeling the beating of the heart. And again, if you want to take it a little deeper, stacking the hands. Make sure they're far enough out that you don't have to punch the body forward. And then releasing the forehead down. Good. When we're ready, we'll start to bring the hands back underneath the shoulders again, just lifting the chest. Drop the left hip to the floor. Use the right hand to help swing that right leg around. And we're going to lower ourselves down onto our backs from here. So the feet are on the floor, knees are up. We're going to slide the hands so we're palm down, fingertips facing the heels, sliding the hands up underneath the sacrum and the glutes. Now from here, we're going to start to press into the forearms, lift the chest toward the ceiling, and lift the chin up toward the ceiling so the top of the head is in contact with the floor. If this is a lot, maybe you stay here with feet on the floor. If we can, we're going to extend the legs forward. We're coming into fish pose. So the shoulders, the back are lifted right up off the floor. The back is not in contact with the floor at all now. The weight is really in the seat and in the top of the head, legs extending forward, shoulder blades drawing back toward each other, chest lifting up. maybe we feel this influx of energy into the system. We're lucky. Nothing always comes, and we can't think that anything is wrong if it doesn't. But it can be as simple as looking for it, too. We're going to very carefully start to lower ourselves down, the back land flat on the floor. We'll draw our knees in, just start to walk the feet in at first, and then the knees come all the way in toward the chest. Arms out to the sides. Maybe if your partner is there, your hands even come in contact with each other. Feeling the sensation, the warmth of each other. And we'll let the knees drop over to the right side. Coming into a twist here. The hard work is done. The body knows that when it begins to settle. You can watch as we change from a faster pace into something more easeful. Inhale, draw the knees back to center. And exhale, let the knees drop over to the other side. And again, inhale, knees back to center. Just give yourself a little hug here for a moment, a little rock from side to side. And then we'll roll to one side. Press it into the hands to draw yourself up for a moment. And I just want to be able to show you where maybe we will head for Shavasana. So what I would suggest is a reclined bound ankle pose, or Souptabatakanasana. We don't need to have the full big setup. If you have time, if you have 15, 20 minutes right now, please set yourself up, go for the whole thing. But if you only have our little bit of time here, then maybe we're either just flat on the floor, or back flat on the floor, or we can have our bolster with a small extra pillow for support. So I'm just going to use my blanket here. And then letting ourselves lower back. So soles of the feet are together. Bolster is right into the lower back, right touching the low back. And then we're peeling back onto our bolster. Make sure the head feels supported. You can always slide a block under there to help lift you up a little bit more if needed. The arms can extend out to the sides. And if you're practicing together with a partner, this would be a really beautiful place just to gently come in contact with each other. Letting ourselves settle in, weight dropping toward the floor, softening the shoulders away from the ears. As we let the back release and the arms get a little heavier, feel the collarbones drawing away from each other. Sense of a willing openness. The whole front of the body open and exposed. Maybe chipping away at some of the concrete here that some of us formed in this area. Continuing to rest and breathe here, gradually more and more open. And in preparation for our time together, I read from my favorite poets, Hafiz, who is a contemporary of Rumi. Wrote some really beautiful poetry, and there was one I came across that I thought I would share while you rest here in Shavasana. This one is called Awake a While. Awake a while. It does not have to be forever. Right now. One step upon the sky's soft skirt would be enough. Hafiz, awake a while. Just one true moment of love will last for days. Rest all your elaborate plans and tactics for knowing him, for they are all just frozen spring buds, far, so far from summer's divine gold. Awake, my dear. Be kind to your sleeping heart. Take it out into the vast fields of light and let it breathe. Say, love, give me back my wings. Lift me nearer. Say to the sun and moon, say to our dear friend, I will take you up now, beloved, on that wonderful dance you promised. We'll take a few more breaths here. We've come into Souptabatakanasana, maybe using the hands to start to draw the knees together. And extending the legs out for a moment, perhaps stretching the arms in the other direction. And then rolling to one side in the fetal position. In your own time, without any hurry, eyes closed, head heavy, and start to press into the floor and work our way back up to seated. Perhaps if you wish, the hands draw together in prayer, the thumbs resting over the heart. The chin drops toward the chest. How lucky we are to be together, to have this time. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, namaste. So thank you all so much for taking 45 minutes today to come and join us at Assisi Yoga. If you really enjoyed the practice and you have the inclination, donations are always very welcome at the Assisi Institute website, and we are very grateful for those. But of course, it's a free practice, and we are really thrilled to have you join us. So until next time, Take care.